My name is Emma. I am 16 years old. I live in a quiet neighborhood where almost everyone knows each other.
Our street is quiet. There are small houses, green trees, and friendly neighbors everywhere.
One Monday morning, I looked outside and saw a large truck stop in front of the empty house next door.
I called my mother to the window. A new neighbor was finally moving into the empty house.
Several workers carried boxes into the house. Some were small, and some were very large.
One box looked different. It was long, black, and very unusual. My mother thought the box might contain a piano, but I was not completely sure.
Later that day, I finally saw the new neighbor. His name was Mr. Reed. He looked around very carefully before going inside. Something about him seemed different.
I could not stop thinking about the new neighbor. I felt there was something unusual about him.
The next day, I decided to welcome the new neighbor. My mother baked a small cake for him.
After school, I walked next door with the cake and hoped to make a good first impression. I knocked on the door and waited. For a long time, nobody answered.
Finally, the door opened. The tall man stood there and looked at me quietly.
I introduced myself and welcomed him to the neighborhood with a homemade cake.
Mr. Reed accepts the gift. He thanked me politely and told me his name was Mr. Reed.
The conversation ended quickly. He was polite, but he seemed very distant.
At home, I told my parents about Mr. Reed. Something about him felt unusual.
Over the next few days, he always left early, returned late, and rarely spoke to anyone.
A few days later, my best friend Lily visited. Together, we started wondering about our mysterious neighbor. Lily and I watched Mr. Reed unload more boxes. He seemed careful about everything he carried. Playful suspicion. We hear Mr. Lily jokes about Mr. Reed. Lily, Mr. Reed looked like a movie detective hiding an important secret.
One rainy evening, I sat near my window reading while the storm covered the neighborhood.
Suddenly, a bright light appeared inside Mr. Reed's upstairs room.
The light moved across the room again and again, before suddenly disappearing. I could not stop wondering what Mr. Reed was doing inside that room.
The next day, I told Lily about the light. The next day, I told Lily about the bright light I had seen during the storm. Actually, Lily thought the share was you another theory. Willie, we thought the light that made the mystery even more interesting.
A few days later, I saw Mr. Reed near his mailbox and decided to say hello again.
Then he asked a strange question. He wanted to know if many people walked on the street at night.
His question surprised me. I could not understand why he cared about people walking outside at night.
That evening, I told my parents about the strange question. Mr. Reed had asked me.
Well, Father hears of the explanation. My father thought Mr. Reed simply liked peace and quiet.
Even after my parents explained it, I still felt something was unusual.
A few days later, I woke up very early before the sun had risen.
Then I noticed a person in dark clothing walking through Mr. Reed's backyard. The person walked toward the shed, opened the door, and went inside.
A minute later, the light disappeared completely. The backyard was empty again.
The whole day, I could not stop thinking about what I had seen, so I told Lily everything. Lily believed our neighbor was hiding a secret. Deep inside, I was beginning to think the same thing. After talking with Lily, I could not stop thinking about Mr. Reed and his strange behavior. The bright light, the shed, and the strange questions kept returning to my mind.
The next afternoon, Lily came over and immediately wanted to investigate the mystery.
We decided to watch the house for a while and see if anything unusual happened.
For almost an hour, nothing happened. The neighborhood seemed completely normal.
Then Mr. Reed arrived carrying a large package that looked surprisingly heavy.
Instead of taking it through the front door, he carried it toward the backyard.
Neither of us knew what was inside the package, but it made us even more curious.
That night, the bright upstairs light appeared again inside Mr. Reed's house.
This time, I grabbed my father's binoculars and tried to see what was happening inside.
Through a small opening in the curtains, I could finally see part of the room. I saw papers, boxes, and several metal objects spread across a large table.
Then Mr. Reed stepped into view and carefully examined one of the objects.
A moment later, the curtains closed and my view disappeared completely.
The next day, I told Lily what she saw. The next day, I told Lily about the room, the papers, and the strange metal objects. Lily suggested that Mr. Reed might be working on wild theory. Yet, Lily the Mr. Reed might be working on something very important.
A few days later, a dark blue van arrived outside Mr. Reed's house. A woman carrying a briefcase arrived and spent several hours inside the house. When she left, I saw Mr. Reed smile for the first time.
Seeing
Mr. Reed's smile changed something. For a moment, he seemed much less mysterious.
Excited! The next day I told Lily about the visitor. and Mr. Reed's unexpected smile. Lily joked that an eyebrow and a smiling Mr. Reed might be even more suspicious than a serious one.
On Sunday morning, I decided to take a walk around the neighborhood.
Near the garbage bins, I noticed a strange piece of torn paper. The paper looked like part of a map, filled with lines, circles, and notes.
Before I could study it further, Mr. Reed suddenly spoke from behind me. We exchanged a few polite words, but neither of us mentioned the paper.
When I described the map to Lily, while I was the torn paper, she immediately became excited!
Emanjaging treasure. Lily was convinced the map might lead to something hidden and valuable.
That night, just before sleeping, I noticed movement outside once again. I moved closer to the window and tried to see who was outside in the darkness.
This time, I realized the person was Mr. Reed himself, carrying a small case.
He unlocked the shed, looked around briefly, and stepped inside.
I decided to write down everything I had seen so far. Wired! Emma shares a new information. The next day, I showed Lily all the notes I had collected. Lily noticed that many strange events happened on the same days each week. For the first time, the clue became Lily observations. We felt that we might be getting closer to an answer.
That afternoon, another delivery truck arrived at Mr. Reed's house.
The package looked different from the others. It was long and made of wood.
The mystery was growing larger. But neither Lily nor I knew how surprising the truth would be.